So first of all, maybe you already know about the Burp Suite. Like this tool is used for the web pen testing. The one of the best example you can get there is the Portsugar website. It's the website or the owners of the Burp Suite. If you have not installed Burp Suite yet, just do it because there are so many features. We have to do it one by one, and all the features have to be done practically. We also have the CTFs, not the CTFs right now, labs of UpgradeMore.com. We can also practice some of the things there directly. So it will be easy for us to have a look on the tool. I hope you guys are ready, and like anyone is still have not installed or set up the Burp Suite, please let me know because we have to do all the things one by one. In today's session, we are going to cover three main topics of the Burp Suite. The first one is Interceptor, the thing which used in the every kind of the web pen testing to intercept the HTTP requests and all the things we do on the web. I can give you an example for it. Like if I reload this page, not right now, I have to start the Burp Suite proxy first. So if I reload this page, HTTP request will be generated by the browser only. So the HTTP request will go to the server where the UpgradeMore.com is hosted, and we will get a HTTP header request. So if I do like this, you can see a bunch of data is there. Right now it's not of our websites of the analytics.google.com. We can forward this thing. So this request will be continued to the host. Not this one too. Yes, this one. So as you can see, if I reload this page, a proxy will be generated here or a header request is captured here. And still our web page is in a pause mode. It's still loading and trying to connect with the server, but still it is not. So the thing is that we intercepted or we blocked the request. So this thing will be help us in seeing all the cookies, all the HTTP parameters we are going to send using our request, some more things, and this thing will be very helpful for us in the future like pen testing stuffs. Okay, so it's a general overview of the Burp Suite, how it works. There are so many different features. One is called Intruder. It's a kind of brute forcing tool where you can brute force multiple types of like passwords also, parameters also, and so many different things. There is one more tool which is called the repeater, where we can just capture a request like this and we can send it to repeater after clicking the right mouse click. So as you can see, if I send this thing, the request will be sent from this area only. We are not going to intercept anything in the browser. Everything will be done here. Like it's a kind of a headerless browser where we are not using any kind of graphical interface, but we are performing all the types of HTTP requests. Okay, so like we can do this thing multiple times in a single area. That's why it's called repeater. And there are so many different things. One more thing is there, which is called the decoder. It's a kind of the simple algorithm decryptor tool where we can decrypt basic encodings, or we can decode or encode any types of basic algorithms like URL, HTML, base64, and there are also a bunch of the hashing methods too, where we can try to decode them. So it's a basic overview on how to use the Burp Suite. For doing this, we have to set up it first. Like I will give you a little overview so how we can set up this thing. So the first thing is we require the Burp Suite community edition. If you have not installed it right now, just go and follow this URL. I have already sent that thing in the hackers chat. You can follow this thing and just download the installation file. Then you have to go and install the Proxy extension for Firefox. This extension is also available in Chrome, but I prefer to use Firefox only. So we can just directly go and search Proxy extension, and it will be there and simply in our mozilla.org website. Once it's done, we need to set up the Burp Suite first. So everything will be done, your installation will be done. You will get a dashboard like this, and you have to start the proxy from here. Maybe this thing will be like this. It should be Interceptor is on thing. Okay, so the second thing is we have to do is go to the settings of the Firefox, search cert here, or first search proxy here, and you can directly add the proxy to the manual proxy, and you can use 127.0.0.1, and with the port is 8085. It is the default port of the intruder, or sorry, interceptor. Or you can also go and check in the options and go here, sorry, 8080. Okay, we can directly enter the proxy of and the port here. It should be here, and the proxy will be on. Our proxy will be started now. For the testing purpose, you can search some things on Google. Not yet, it's not working right now. Okay, so now it's working. So when our proxy is on, just do interceptor is off and enter a URL called burp, then a colon, then double slash, or directly enter the burp. It will be directed to the burp page. Yeah, it's not working. Let me use the Foxy proxy first. Something is wrong here. Okay, so it's here. We have to do the full http// and burp. So we will get a page like this. From here, we have to download the certificate. It's a kind of the SSL certificate. It used to decode all the SSL things on the internet. So it's a thing directly given from the Putsugar website only. So we have to save it, and now we have to import this certificate in our browser. For that thing, we can directly search cert in the settings of the Firefox. We can go in the view tab and we can import the certificate directly from here. For my on my Firefox, it's already set up, but in your thing, it will be a pop-up will be there, and there will be two options. The first thing will be for the websites, and second thing for the emails. So just tick both the things and then press the next button. Okay, so your Burp Suite should be ready to work now. And for the Foxy proxy settings, just click on the options. Here, click on the add. Just add any description like Burp1, and add all that thing we added on the settings tab, which is the IP address and the port, and save it. So it will be shown in our Foxy proxy right now. Okay, these are the basic setup of the Burp Suite. There is some more things we can go, like changing of the socket port, and some more things we can do while setting it up. But the things are the enough, and we can just work on it directly. Okay. So guys, if you have any question, you can directly unmute your mic and ask it. We already given you you already have the permission of unmuting yourself. And if you want anything, you can also drop a message, and our team members will look on it. Okay. So the thing is completed here, and now we can directly go and test some of the things. Let's again start with the interceptor. We have to go in the proxy tab and start it from here. In this full process, I will solve our last CTF. Most of you guys all solved the CTF by a vulnerability. I left it. I don't know how it created, but it's not a legit way of solving the CTF. So I will follow that CTF only to solve it using the Burp Suite right this time. Okay. The first thing is we have to do a directory busting on this URL. And we already know there are so many tools we can use, like GoBuster, Directory Buster, and it will be a faster way to do this. And one more thing is there that is called the guessing method. We can guess the URLs, and on the most of the website, the /login thing is always available, and it works most of the time. So I have to just go and add the login.php, and forward this request from my interceptor. Sorry, it should be like login only. And it's here. In this CTF, there are 3 steps. The first one is the brute forcing thing. The first one is of the directory brute forcing. The second one is of the URL username brute forcing. But for the brute forcing username, we don't have to do so many things. There are already 2 usernames available here. The first thing is Udit and second one is admin. We can use this usernames also for entering the website. And the second thing is the password brute forcing. So like in almost most of the website or the things that created in the early stage, there's a problem from the developers. They put the very easy password to guess, like, or a very easy password for the admins, like admin123, admin@123 or 12345, something like this. So it will be an easy for hacker to just decode or brute force that thing. For that thing, we have multiple tools and so many things we can follow, but the one of the best thing is that we can use the Burp Suite tool. For the brute forcing part, we will use the Intruder, and for the Interceptor part, we will use the Proxy thing. So let me just drop all the things. Okay, so if just enter some username, a random password, here we will get a simple username and password parameter in our Interceptor, and we can see this thing like it's adding a parameter of username and a password where there's a username of Udit and a password in a plain text. One more thing, the URL is sending through a post request, so we will not get any parameter here. Maybe you already know about the HTTP method. There are 2 basic methods called get and the post. In the get method, there are parameters you can visit. You can see on the URL only. But in the post methods, everything will be listed in the HTTP header only. There is not a single way you can directly visit the thing. You have to do a intercepting thing or do some of the like developer console things. So then only you will get the parameters that I was sending by the post request. Okay. So as I can see, if I forward this request, and here we'll get an error called incorrect username or password. The first thing we already got to know that a proxy is a very like one of the way we can just handle the request or the HTTP request by intercepting them, and we will use these things in the future pen testing purposes. Okay, so the first thing is done. We know how to use the interceptor, and the second thing is we have to do is called that repeater thing. So for the repeater, we have to capture the request in the interceptor first, and then we can send it to the repeater. So these are the basic steps we follow to send our request to the repeater, and like we have to follow it. There is not a different way we can just do this. Sorry guys, I just copied a wrong request. I need to just capture it again. And I will turn off the interceptor. So if I want to search on anything on the internet, I can search it easily. Okay, so here we can see that the interceptor is working and we are getting a HTTP response to. As you can see, incorrect username and password thing is also visible here because this thing is coming from there only. It's like a source code of the HTML page, and we are getting a response from there. We can also do some of these things like rendering it, following some more things, so it will be easy to for us to view in the Burp Suite only. Okay, so one thing we know that the username is there called Udit and the admin, so we can brute force these parameters using the bunch of the passwords. Like there is a rule for the pen testers or the hackers: always follow the first easiest password first, then go to the top 100 and then to top 1000, then top 10,000, then top 1 lakh and so on. So for doing this thing, first thing I will go with the top 100 password list, and I will just add a GitHub here, so it will be easier for me to just get there and copy all the things. Okay, so as we can see, there are 100 top 100 passwords are available. We can copy it from there. If you want, you can also save it in a file. But if you don't want to save it, you can just directly come into the Intruder and just save the text file there. Okay, the first step is done. We know the repeater is working here. We can, if we want, we can just enter some of the random passwords like 12345 and send it here. So we can check the password is correct or not. But if it's not still working, we can also try to do some more password brute forcing, and we will try to have that's not working anymore. So leave it. So we all know that this is how the repeater will work. The two things are done. Like the first interceptor is done and the repeater is also done. The final part is the intruder. Okay. So for the intruder part, we have to just send this request on the default one to the intruder from here. Then we have to set up the intruder for brute force. So the first step is clear all the default things. All these default things. For doing that thing, we will just click on the clear button. The second step is add the parameter you want to brute force, or the parameter you want to paste all your like word list one by one. Okay, so I will just select this area and click on the add button. So as you can see, purple color is like shown here. So it will be easy for you to understand that this parameter will be used as a brute forcing of all the word list one by one. So the second thing is we have to choose the attack type. There are a bunch of attack types, and you can just read the description, and everything have a different type of approach and different type of thing. So, but for our password brute forcing part, we will use the sniper attack on. Like it is used, the sniper attack used basically for the password brute forcing that are on the web only. Okay, so there are some more different things like battering arm, pitchfork, and cluster bomb. They have a different approach. They are some of them fast, some of them are slow, and we can just do these things, or you can practice these things on our UpgradeMore labs also. Okay, so the first thing is done. Second, we have to enter the word list. So I just copied it from here and directly come and paste it here. So as you can see, all the password word list are pasted here right now. Second thing is already done. We can see the payload count is 101. So the 101 HTTP request will be sent by the intruder one by one, so we can brute force the password. The second thing is we have to add the threading pool. Maybe you already know about the threads. Like it's a method where a single request will be done by a multiple agents, so it will be fast enough. Like one task will be done by the 4 or 5 agents at a time, so it will be completed like in a faster manner. Okay, so the 10 is a default congruent request we can send by the Burp Suite. We can also change it by entering all the things here, but I will use the default one. And the last thing is we have to just start the attack. Okay, it's just a warning, don't worry about it. And as we can see, all the things are right now going one by one, and if we just click one of them, we can see the heading request we are sending and the response we are getting. The first thing, there is 302. Maybe I just got any vulnerability, or not vulnerability, I just got a bug. So this thing is that this is a basic issue that I am getting a 302 found a request. Somehow my cookie is expired. The cookie I am sending with my request is expired. That's why I need to just get a new request, new HTTP request from the proxy to get go like let it complete the thing. First thing I will just go. Oh, okay, the password got logged in. Don't know how. Okay, so Interceptor is off now. I will use the random password, capture it, send it to intruder. Yeah, I can also directly send it to the intruder instead of the repeater. Then clear all the things, add the like parameter to brute force, come to the payload, paste all the payloads and start it. And now we can see the request is going on and we are getting a response, and most of the thing response is will be like a wrong password, but we can see there are a bunch of requests going on, but we can just direct it with the length method. As we can see, some requests are getting 353 length, but some are getting 473, and only one is there which is getting 5024 length. And if I just see in the response, we can see welcome. It's a sign that the password is like accepted by the server. So the default password we brute force is the 12345. Okay, guys. So just we can directly discard it this and use the default password to log in here. Boom, the password is bypassed by this. This is the method to brute force not only the passwords or anything else. We can also brute force the usernames. Sometimes we know that the password that the password is 12345. We got from the phishing attack or anything else, but we don't know about the username. It can be anything. So we can also just add this thing here. We can come on the payload area and we can add different types of payloads too. Like I will add all the thing and I will add the 2 more parameters or 2 more word list thing, which is Udit an admin. We can also just follow the attack from here, sort by the length, and we will wait for our username to pick and wait. The one thing is there. The cookie again got crashed. We need to clear the cookie and get a new HTTP proxy. Okay, so I will just send it to Intruder, clear it, change the password, add the parameter here, and directly add for both usernames and just start the attack. Now we can see we are again getting 473 length, and probably it was saying that the username or password is incorrect. It's like showing. Okay. The thread pool is slow right now. We only hit 832 request. And we have to wait till 102. Better I will just add the final parameter there only. As you can see, first we started the attack and we got a 5000 length in the username where we sent out response as Udit, and the password is the one we get it from any kind of the phishing attack or something else. And on both of the methods we are it's easy to get access for the username and the password, so we can directly enter the website. So this is how the intruder works in our Burp Suite, but still there are so many ways we can just make the combination, and we can use these things in our like almost to solving any type of the web CTF or any kind of the web pen testing thing. that this thing is done here, but still we have to identify the admin area to get the flag and all the things. Some of you use this thing like of adding the admin parameter here, and I know it's the right way of doing that thing, but still we have to do in a proper manner, then only it will work in the future. Like in this version of the CTF, I have already solved all the vulnerabilities that are unwanted in the CTF. That's why these things will not work. Okay, so the first two things are done. We are able to bypass get the login URL, and the second thing is we are able to brute force the password. Now the third thing is we need to dump the SQL database, and maybe most of you know or already solved this thing, that by adding the semicolon in any parameter, we can test the basic version of SQL injection or a error based SQL injection. So when I just entered a single quote here, as you can see, we got a fatal error, and most of you guys has copied these things and send it as a flag, but no, it's not the correct flag. There is a bunch of the process still remaining to get the right flag. Okay, this thing is not done yet. Now we will have to use the SQL map tool for dumping the whole database. And maybe you know about the SQL map or not, but it is a tool for automating the purpose or the process of SQL injection to dump the full database as a file or the text in your system. Okay, so the first thing is done. Let me clear all the tabs. Just come to the Proxy tab. Now this time again I will use the Interceptor to get this thing, and I will now save that thing in a file. So when I right click there, there's an option called copy to file. I will just copy it to file and save it as a sql.txt file in my SQL map folder. You can also just visit or search the Google at SQL map GitHub. You will get a GitHub repository and you can directly download the full SQL map project from the GitHub itself by just downloading the zip, and just it's like if you need Python for running this tool, so don't forget to install Python also in your system. So the first thing is done. We saved our sql.txt file, and the second thing is we have to just open our tool in the terminal, because this tool is terminal based. And if I just do dir, we can see the sql.txt file is already there. And if I just do some more things, you can see the full parameter or the full HTTP request here. And our vulnerable parameter is username here. As you can see, %27 means single quote in URL encoding. We can also just copy this part, number decoder as %27 and decode is as URL. And we can see that the %27 stands for the single quote in our URL encoding or URL encryption. Okay, these things are done. Now the final step is to dump the database. For it, I will use a simple program called as Python, then a command called sqlmap.py, and -r stand for the file I'm going to use, which is sql.txt, and a thing like a parameter of dbs. So it will detect all the things one by one using this HTTP request only. Okay, so as you can see, the parsing HTTP request from sql.txt, and it will ask so many things. As we can see, it appears that you have provided a tainted parameter values username, because we added a single quote here, and SQL map detects that single quote is already there in a parameter. So it will like test all the payloads of SQL map or SQL injection in this parameter first only. Okay, so we will just press yes, and it will scan all these things, and we will get a like error here, or not an error. We will get a full database query here. Like right now I am doing all this thing in my local host. That's why this thing got so fast, and I got all the database available on the server and all these things, but maybe in the real time, a real world scenario, this thing can take up to an hour or more than an hour. In my scenario, like in my case, there are so many times I have to wait for 12 hours to dump the whole database, because sometimes the database was in GBs. The size is very big, so the servers have to upload all the things to us and XYZ server, then we will dump from there. Okay, so the process got so long. That's why, I mean, maybe in your scenario, this thing will be slow, and there are so many things it will be asked from you. So I will just do one more thing one time. This time I will press N, not DBS, sorry. I have to add dump hyphen all. I have to also add a single. So this thing will be there, like dump will be dump, like the database will be dumped from here. We have to use -d to like set the database, and this time I will use the city of users database. I will remove the space from here and press the enter. So as we can see, we got the full dump of the database of the city of users, and we got a table called users, and this thing is got resuming. Maybe I just practiced it but little bit earlier. That's why everything is visible here directly, and we can see we got the password of the admin also here, as you can see, and also the password of our like default to the user. This is the way we dump our databases or anything else. Just let me clear the basic version of the old version of this thing, so we can just let me create a new scenario so I can show some of the things to you directly downloading from the GitHub. No, this thing is really fast because the file is located here. Let me just delete all these things. Okay, so now this time it will be really slow. Yes, sir. Okay, now it's working. As we can see, there are so many different warnings or the informations we are getting from there. As we can see, the testing if the post parameter username is dynamic, post parameters appears to be dynamic, and so many different things. We also get a possible database management system which is called the MySQL, and there are so many different data available. And just press yes, it will start. Yes, it will start executing all the commands one by one, which is the boolean based, blind based, and different categories of the SQL injections one by one. So everything will be there, and at last we will get the full database. So right now all the payloads are sending, that is based on the MySQL only, because our tool detected the MySQL is available in the client or the server, and for real the server is using MySQL, and the accuracy is really high in SQL map. And we can see there are so many different options, information we are getting. And now this time it is trying to exploit the password parameter, testing all the payloads one by one here also. Yeah, we can also see that the post parameter username is vulnerable. So if it's an optional thing that we test different parameters also, because username will work. Okay. let me just fasten up this process because it's already 40 minutes we are in the session. Anyways, we got the password. We'll use it to decode it first. Okay. Here we can also use Burp Suite for decoding it as different types of parameters. Here we just used the base 64 and it's not working. There are so many different types of hashing methods, and one of the basic hashing methods are using like most of the websites or most of the CMS using this like MD5 parameter, encryption method for decoding their encrypting their passwords or all the data. So we can directly I can use a basic MD5 decryptor tool which is available on the internet, and we can decrypt it. And most of the times it gives the password, and most of the times it throw an error because it's not registered in its database, because MD5 is a salt based data like a encryption method. So it's not like every time we got a password which can be decrypted by the internet. Sometimes we have to do the password cracking thing, where we can use different types of tools called Hashcat and Hydra and so many different tools like John the Rippers to detecting the password, or the hash methods, hash identifier tools, and we have to follow a full process for cracking the passwords. Okay, so as we can see, we got a password of admin@123, and we can use this to log in as admin this time. And we can see we got admin log, and this time you can also see that we changed the dashboard.php to admin.php. The final step is really easy. Just we have to press Ctrl U, and we will get the flag from here. This is the real method of solving this CTF using Burp Suite and SQL. In the CTF, we learned the directory busting, password brute forcing, some of the methods to do the SQL injection and dumping the database. And I hope that everyone got this method to solve the CTFs. But almost I just created a vulnerability by mistake. So it's an easy method, like you guys just do the SQL injection bypass and got the flag without doing any different thing. So this is the full way of solving our CTF. As we can see, we got the database here too. And if I just do dump -all, then set up the CTF user as the user database, it will start dumping the CTF user for now. And we can see the database is dumped using our new file. And also we got so many databases like database queries from here. Not only this database, we can dump any other database like vulnerability2. As we can see, there is a lot of data available in vulnerability, like all the database used for the parameters for working the vulnerab lab. There's so many different things we can do. So this is how these two tools works. We got to know about the target like Proxy. We got to know about the Intruder and Repeater. There are some more tools available called Sequencer, Spidering, and more things. But all these things works in a premium version of Burp Suite. Even Intruder is not that much accurate in the free edition of the Burp Suite because of the threading thing and so many different things. As we can see, when I am brute forcing the username, the threading got too slow, because this thing will work with efficiency in the premium version of the Burp Suite. If you want, if you are rich, you can directly go and buy a premium version, or you can just get a crack one. But we will not promote any type of crack here. That's why I'm using the community free edition. But if you want, we will provide you one in the personal chats only. Okay. This is the method we will use in the upcoming CTFs, or we will use these tools in the upcoming CTFs for solving it. And case if you have any question or anything you want to ask me, just drop a message in the hackers chat or somewhere else, or you can also just unmute yourself and get that, like you can ask the questions. I tried to complete it as fast as possible, but still it's 5:48, and yeah, I know it's a long lecture. Do you have any questions, guys? Or anything else you have to ask, or any suggestions regarding my lecture or the future approach of the CTFs or the labs, or any like feedback of the previous labs and CTFs? If you want to just you can just say it. Anyone having any question or not? Vipin, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Uh,
I don't think so. Anybody has any questions? Then should we close the session?
yeah, I think so. If anyone has not any questions, then it's better to just close the session. Anything else, guys? Or anything?
If you do realize you have any doubts later, then you can reach out to us on
Yes.
Hackers Chat.
You can message it anytime.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you for the session, guys. Like we will
Thank
connect
you so
the
much,
future
Udit.
CTFs. Very welcome,
Yes.
bro. Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Okay,
that's all for
guys.
this session.
Bye bye. Bye bye bye.